Joining us now from Washington, CNN senior political correspondent, host of State of the Union, Candy Crowley. Thank you very much, Candy, for joining us. Appreciate it. I cannot get past the hot mic moment. I can't. I see it as too instructive, too clear in a bipartisan way. Doesn't matter if they're Republicans or Democrats that get caught. But please tell me, what does it mean to you what you hear these men saying about the disconnect between what they're supposed to be doing and what they want to be doing?
Well, it certainly is a signal to the House. Now, we had heard Rand Paul say publicly, we're not going to be able to get rid of Obamacare, but it's a great starting position. We have had, in particular in the Senate, a lot of Republican senators saying, shutting down the government is a bad idea. It won't work for Republicans politically, etc. This tells me that they're in a position that the Senate doesn't want to be in. It tells me that they are hearing privately and publicly from the president no negotiations, which probably is more troublesome in terms of there really isn't anything going on. We sort of kept thinking there was, that maybe somewhere people were talking about a compromise, and clearly that's not happening. So, and obviously what Republicans believe is that particular stance, we're not going to negotiate on anything, is not going to survive the test of public will. So far what we see is Republicans are taking the bulk of the blame. We'll see if that shifts.
But it was such naked insight into how, well, they didn't poll, what it means that we're saying we want to compromise, that they're looking to that for their guidance. And it could be either party. I just felt it was very instructive of why this process is taking as long as it can, which raises the question about why Boehner is not bringing up this vote for a resolution. What do you believe is behind it? Is he not doing this because he's worried about losing face or losing his job? Why is there no vote?
I want to, sort of put something not, particularly new in this conversation, but something that we don't discuss all the time, and that is there may not be the votes there. I talked to Nancy Pelosi a couple of weeks ago, and I said, "Do you like the CR? I mean, if the House put if Boehner put just a straight old temporary spending resolution on the floor, do you like it?" And she said, "No, there's too many cuts in it." There are Democrats who don't like the CR even plain without anything attached to it. There are Republicans that are always going to vote against it because it doesn't do anything about Obamacare should a clean CR come up. There may not be the votes at the moment. Having said that, certainly the main impetus is that his caucus is not with him at this point. And I would also suggest it's not just the 35 and the 40. They have been pretty good at holding together. This is more than 40 congressmen at this point. Now we're beginning to see some fractures and maybe a dozen House Republicans looking for a way out, but they've held forth. So it's not just the Tea Party, although it does seem Tea Party driven, obviously.
And I'll tell you this, if the Democrats get a CR or a clear, let's turn the government back on thing and they balk or they start to make, they're going to have a big problem. So they better be careful what they ask for. Let me ask you this last question, the debt ceiling. Are you getting indication that they know down there not to mess with it the way they have with the shutdown? I ask that because Representative Steve King was saying, this debt ceiling stuff, it's false demagoguery. It's not that big a deal. What are you hearing? Did they get that it is a big deal? We have to do it the right way.
I'm hearing that nobody wants to find out. The debt ceiling really has been, from economists to a number of folks up on Capitol Hill, they just look at it and say, this really would be disaster on the U.S. economy, on the world economy. And even those who say, I don't know because I'm not an economist, but I don't want to find out. So what we're hearing from Boehner, I think, it certainly substantiates all of that this is not something that he's going to allow to happen, even if it means he has to rely on Democratic votes. And that's something for the Republican Speaker of the House to say. Even if I have to get Democrats to do it, we're not going to allow the debt ceiling not to go up.